Okay.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. I found out about this game literally just an hour ago.
Mm.
Um, I have Kat and Lindell on the voice call with me. They're going to be watching me experience this.
Yay!
Uh,
Look at
doesn't
this thing. It's
doesn't look like the audio is coming through on the recording for some reason.
There's no audio in the game.
No, there is.
Oh, well.
There
Oh.
is.
That's not good.
No.
Oh, I hear it now. I had it muted like a fool.
Yeah. But it's not for some reason. What the hell?
This is not your house. This is not your audio.
There we go.
Give it back.
Okay, now we've got the sound. Now you can hear all of the gross noises. Because I can't call this music.
Soundtrack, no thanks.
So, since it is the start of spooky season, me and Kat picked up this pumpkin pie cream liqueur, and I'm about to take a swig of this from a shot glass that I got from Merrimack Caverns, and see if I hate it like every other type of alcohol I've ever tried.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
I hate it.
It was good at first, but then... It's... The pumpkin pie part is delicious. The vodka part is not hidden when it should be.
It's kind of hard to keep talking.
Well, they should work on that.
Yeah. They never will.
Getting drunk
They
is...
always try, but it never happens.
I've never gotten drunk, and this is why. I can't stand the taste of alcohol.
Alright, understandable.
Alright, start.
Oh.
Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door.
Oh.
Dude, don't you love when a shed just has the word shed on it?
You just need to know. Yeah, this is a shed.
But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing toward him. There's a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now, smooth as fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It won't turn. Roger removes the key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H, definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked, jammed, broken maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grip on the key and leaves it in the lock. Drops his grocery bags on the porch. Tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and the door handle every which way, without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. Looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant! The police are en route! I lied. The door unlocks from the inside.
Oh.
Can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Check the deed, lady. A deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Those who inhabit a space own it.
Take my house back.
Yeah, fuck you. This is my house. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner stumbles back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken.
Stand your ground.
I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Roger hears a car start up outside. Looks to the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road.
Hey,
Whoa.
carjacked me.
It can't be! Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in the kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities.
I'll be
Dog
everywhere,
days.
Roger.
Table runners, oiled drape runners, candles. Seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. Took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own, and there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. Decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. Started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to leave his house anymore. The only thing that worried him was whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. A shadow passed by the window. End credits. Okay.
Aw.
I'm everywhere. How,
I'm
Roger?
everywhere. Alright, let's try that again, I
could be
guess.
under your stairs, in your room, inside the cup.
Give me back my house.
We got chicken.
I'll get the chicken.
Get the chicken.
You see someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his rotisserie chicken.
My chicken.
Hey.
The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back.
Oh.
My chicken.
My back.
Oh.
Ow. Ow.
Ow.
Ow.
Ow.
Ow. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. Sets the bag on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it first to see what there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbors by a door and some drapes.
And credit. Oh, okay.
Uh,
This is short. Unless.
Yeah, you can have it.
You can have it.
Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. What in the
Oh.
hell? Bye-bye.
is that the analog or
Yeah,
is that actually home?
I guess. Sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappear down the road. Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep.
Damn.
Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. He feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. Okay.
Oh.
Give me
Yeah,
my
it's
shirt
cold.
back.
It's cold out here.
No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. The homeowner glides into the house, slamming the door behind her. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hand to try to keep them warm. He shakes from the cold. What do we do, boys? They left me naked and alone in the fucking cold.
We gotta find help. I say find help.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do that. Let's do it.
Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt and the officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints toward him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up! I'm cooperating! Suspect is uncooperative! I'm cooperating! What am I a suspect of? Turn around! I said turn around right now! Roger complies. Walk backward toward me! Roger walks backward toward the officer. Not so fast! Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak, and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up! Roger very slowly walks backward toward the guard. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace! Roger does not hasten his pace, preferring to aggravate the officer rather than do something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood, steering him with the chain of the cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch regarding Roger's arrest. Roger's naked body wriggles for several minutes against the leather in the back seat while he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there! A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. Tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house routine. Save it for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. And I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange how? You mean she stole my house? Right. But what is it that made her strange to you? How calm she was about it all? Like I was a perfect stranger? Like she belonged there? The officers glance at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned around and saw her driving away in my car at the same time. A pair of twins, maybe. They were her. In the car and the house, all at once. So what happened to your clothes? She took them. Right there on the porch when I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? The officers snicker while sharing a look. It's not funny, I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. Wow. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. Alright, sir, how much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of them, the same person, and wandered the streets naked, but you haven't had anything to drink. That's not... Oops. That's not what I said. That isn't how it happened. I've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking.
I'm sober. Fuck you.
I was not drinking. It's true what I said. Every word of it. But a note that the subject is not cooperating, and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name...
Is this guy gaslighting us?
Yeah. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh, dear God.
Like in a loony bin?
Apparently.
Yeah, into the loony bin.
Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings as they did with all the other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Unspecific nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door.
The
What the fuck?
God makes me absolutely useless.
Just like always.
Yeah, what a life to live in.
Whoop.
Alright.
Break down the door!
Yeah, let's break down the freaking door.
Alright,
Roger's a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. Feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. Manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Roger darts to the knife lock in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. Homer calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled a John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger an unidentified drifter and the homeowner as a neighborhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of a homeowner who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years.
Oh my god, Roger.
Jesus.
Okay, so we can't give her those few seconds to grab the shotgun.
Nope.
We gotta hide.
Hide in ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He presses himself against the corner wall by the bottom of the staircase, hoping he will remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls backward onto the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again and again and again, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after, and they were called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass, followed by repeated muffled blows. As Roger and his defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home, a woman police were never able to identify due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution was able to convince them Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, awaiting lethal injection.
Mm-mm.
This is just making Cat mad.
Yeah. Like, what the?
This is my house.
This is my house.
I'm getting fucking blamed for everything. But this is my house.
This is my house.
Waiter
Seek
out.
shelter.
No shelter. Okay.
With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it's best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its back for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pains. Crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around looking for food. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms.
That's us.
Do we know what the mushrooms are?
No.
Oh. Oh.
Mushrooms range from very harmless to very deadly, so,
But we're gonna starve here. Don't eat the mushrooms.
Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be, but the fact remained, he was hungry. He sets out for the edge of the forest in a brisk pace. He skulks through the tree line parallel to the road to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into an alley and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze, makes him salivate, and clench his fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help.
It's gonna be the same situation as the cat.
Yeah, also.
Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction, so he follows the scent in the air. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks, and some sneakers. Then heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout. Piping hot pizza for breakfast.
Yeah, pizza.
Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. Insert arm into automation orifice.
What?
He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance. Roger reads the display and looks down. He sees the ATM's orifice. He slides his arm inside. It is cold, pulsating. Roger looks up at the display.
Orifice is such a weird name.
It's a weird word. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. Roger feels the raised shape of the numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. Roger had never committed a criminal act. He was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house in broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he hooked a hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window, or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw the lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount of his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. Hey, we finally got a good ending.
We finally got a good ending. Yay!
Hey.
Look at us go.
Yeah, we blew up our house.
Yeah, it's always the answer.
Yeah.